All right, welcome to VMware Explore Barcelona Day 3. Man, we are wrapping up our conversation coverage. There have been so many great conversations this week from, oh my goodness, from customers, partners, and even some VMware by Broadcom employees.
So it's been great. I love the conversations. I've been having a lot of disaster recovery conversations.
You're a disaster. That's why.
Yeah, no, I am a disaster. But also, disasters come in many forms.
Yes.
They come in natural disasters. I broadly gestured off camera where it started raining a day ago. But also, they come off those security related. There's definitely been a very security ransomware flavor of that. So it's interesting to hear that. Also seeing the unique challenges that the European market has. So I think we need some guests who can speak to this.
I agree. And so with that, cameras pan to our favorite guests on the Virtually Speaking podcast, Belu de Arbelaiz. Belu, welcome back.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Great to be back.
And also welcome back, Yoomi. Welcome.
Yeah, great to be here again. Thanks for having us.
So you guys have been focusing on disaster recovery, VMware Live Recovery, basically cyber resiliency for a while. And I know, Belu, I was looking at the content catalog. I think you have like 5 sessions.
Yeah, it's been a packed schedule.
You've been pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them was like the top 5 updates in VMware Live Recovery. I thought, man, we could just go through that and have a great conversation. But we could just refer people to the blog or the recording. But I'd love to just get your take just off the level. What have been some of the announcements this week? And then maybe we can start to chew on those.
Absolutely. So before we dive into the announcements, I think one message that we're really trying to get across to customers is the true value that we deliver as a platform, right, with VCF when it comes to enabling this end-to-end cyber resilience, right? And you guys are familiar in terms of how we do this, right? You have the hardened infrastructure, you have the lateral security with vDefend that's actually coming up with very cool announcements, right, around the intelligent assist feature. And then we have this last line of defense, which is VMware Live Recovery, the key focus for today's conversation, right? But talking to customers about this huge value proposition that we offer as a platform has really resonated and validated, what we've been thinking about all along, right? Which is that it is so important to provide this holistic approach to security, resiliency, and bridge this gap between the prevention, the detection, response, and recovery.
In terms of those conversations, what's new and what's changing with this? Because we've had, VMware Live Recovery, this service that, allows you to fail over into VMware Cloud on AWS for some time now. What is new?
One of the key things that we've had in mind in our recent innovations has been to provide our customers with more freedom of choice, right? Optionality. We have customers who would like to, recover their workloads in the public cloud, and that is great, and it delivers all this elasticity and all the benefits of public cloud, right? But especially within the European community, we have seen that many customers are asking for the ability to recover to an on-premises location, right? So one of the key announcements that we've made for VMware Live Recovery is that customers are going to be able to recover to an on-premises IRE. This, of course, is going to bring a lot of added data sovereignty. It's going to allow them to leverage the value of the full stack integration of the VCF platform, maximize the value of their investments. So this is something that we're pretty excited about.
Yeah, you said IRE, and for the folks that are following along at home, that is the isolated recovery environment. So tell us a little bit about what that actually is and what's the benefit of it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so it's essentially an isolated clean room where customers can test and validate their VMs. Because one of the things that is happening with ransomware attacks these days is that they're fileless in nature for the most part. And so they can remain dormant in the backups, they can reactivate themselves, they can move laterally across environments. And so in order to prevent reinfection of your production site while you're trying to recover, you need that isolated clean room to run your VMs and observe how it behaves using behavioral analysis and to find a clean recovery point that way.
I like that. I love the term clean room. It sounds like an episode of Dexter or something where, he's got that was a kill room. That's a different room. That's a different room.
Yeah. No, but this is great, and this has been, by the way, I feel like the top request for a while now, because I would explain VMware Live Recovery, this is great. Yeah, and you can fail it over in any cloud as long as it's VMware Cloud on AWS.
Right.
And people are like, but they have legitimate concerns of why they want to use a very specific cloud or a very specific data center, or maybe a partner. I've had a lot of partners asking about this. So What else are we opening up, I guess, in terms of options there?
So the second leg of this announcement is actually that we are enabling our customers to recover to a GCVE isolated recovery environment as well. Google Cloud VMware Engine.
There we go.
Location. We were already able to protect GCVE environments as a source, right? But we're now expanding that protection to enable the GCVE site as a target. So more optionality.
More optionality. I like that. So I've heard about GCVE announcements in the general session. That was great. So for the folks that have missed it, by all means, go ahead and watch the general session. But I also heard there's some updates in terms of data protection or as it pertains to vSAN.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is an area that we're investing heavily in. We talked about VCF being a core platform for us. And so second theme, in addition to flexibility and optionality, is really about tighter integration with the core platform. And so one of the recent announcements we made was around the general availability of vSAN data protection and leveraging local snapshots for cyber recovery. So we are allowing customers to take snapshots locally with vSAN, and then in the cyber recovery process, instead of bringing back data from the cloud, which can take a while, customers can leverage the local snapshots and accelerate their recovery times.
Yeah, especially for those large scale, it's amazing how much data sometimes gets touched before people can hit the button and power things off or break replication or things like that. Because, the scale, particularly the ransomware attacks, it's incredible. I talked to a customer, they had 400 terabytes they had to recover. And trying to move that out of a cloud environment or over a remote circuit, that's painful. And so being able to use that local copy of the rollback, that sounds like it's going to drastically speed up the recovery times.
Yeah, and also to your point, right, in cyber recovery, the data delta between your recovery point that's validated in your recovery environment versus what's in production is usually pretty big, right? Because you have to roll back days, even weeks, right? There's dwell time, so you're not going to just grab your latest snapshot and recover from that. So this really does make a difference since the data transfer and the failback is orders of magnitude smaller.
I like the failback because if you have a disaster recovery solution that only fails in one direction, you have a migration tool. You do not have a disaster recovery tool.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Yeah, it takes me back to the days of Site Recovery Manager, early days, where that's what it was. It was a failover, and you will get the latest, greatest. That's what we've got for you, and that's not the way we can do it these days, is it? I mean, we really can't just depend on what is happening because of the fact of things like malware, and we need to have that option. So when you're using the vSAN snapshots, I'm assuming this is all built natively into the VMware Live Recovery instance?
Yeah, definitely natively built into VMware Live Recovery. It auto-identifies the best baseline snapshot to recover from. Overall integrated with the platform, and we're extending that further with VCF 9, doing remote snapshot replication as well, which also serves as kind of a good way for us to introduce the on-prem IRE, because what we're doing with that is making enhancements so that rather than supporting 24 snapshots per VM with vSphere replication today, it'll now support 200 snapshots per VM, and so it'll allow for that deeper snapshot history that you need for ransomware recovery, and the storage is immutable.
That replication is a great thing because I feel like you'll know I've been kidnapped if I ever say that a local snapshot is a backup. But that's the sign, Pete. Send in the rescue team. But being able to send that to another location, get that into a separate authentication zone that has a separate set of eyes, or maybe a partner who's helping the customer with that cloud, or get that out of that environment from fire, flood, or blood, whatever bad thing has happened in the data center. Being able to get that to another area, that's critical to having a true end-to-end data protection story, and layering that IRE on top. That gives you, multiple capabilities, backup, recovery, oops, dev copies, and then also finally that IRE, that clean room, which is kind of the final piece, all through one platform. That's going to be fun.
What has been your takeaway for the week? I'm sure you've had great customer conversations. I'd love to hear what's coming back from the customers.
Yeah, definitely a lot of interest in security and cyber resilience. That has been the top priority for several years now, and it's hard to have a customer conversation about VCF without that coming up as a topic. So definitely a lot of interest there, a lot of excitement about the new capabilities that we are introducing as part of VMware Live Recovery. And especially with the EMEA audience, as Belu mentioned, the on-prem IRE is definitely something that they're very interested in.
Yeah, and I guess for me, I'll echo what Yoomi said in terms of, the cyber resilience topic being top of mind and kind of one of the top things in any CIO's agenda today, right? So we have seen a lot of interest from customers, industry analysts to discuss this topic, right? But one thing that really stood out for me that I think it's something that we have been working on, since we kind of relaunched this VCF platform is the simplified management, right? The idea that we are able to deliver this disaster recovery, cyber recovery through a unified management experience, the fact that vSAN data protection embedded into VMware Live Recovery can be managed from a single appliance. So this ease of use is something that has really become important to customers, as what we see is that there's more a tendency to purchase platforms versus best of breed, right? Because sometimes you have to balance those two, right? Instead of stitching together multiple products, you have to find a platform that allows you to bring all of that together and add that value and cover any additional things with Spot Solution. But I think that's where the market is heading.
You're absolutely right. I think no one learned that better than VMware. I mean, we started that with VMware Cloud Foundation, and we aggregated a bunch of tools that were working separately and were not perfectly together at all times. And it's been so powerful to see the evolution over time, leading all the way up now to VCF 9. With all of these great, services that are on top of it, but just working together, like as
Right.
one unified platform.
We're striving for both, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Belu, Yoomi, thank you so much for joining us on Virtually Speaking, and enjoy the rest of your week.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, folks.